Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. As you can tell from your screen, I am not in New York City right now. No virtual background, no sitting in the living room. I got an open door behind me. I got the sound of nature and traffic on on the uh, on the route behind us. But in any case, actually, this was brought to my attention by none other than Michael Hovermale, and he's been sharing an N World, and I find it very interesting what he's sharing. So I figured I would bring it to light, shine a little light on it, get it some wings on it, and a little extra commentary. Maybe not just from me, maybe from Rach too, because it hits a few marks. Desic Glid, he was responding to. To be clear, someone at nuTSR did that. Then Stephen Deinhardt quit. Then nuTSR claimed the person that did that quit, but never directly said it was Deinhardt. At this point, I say Deinhardt, Lanasa, Ernie Gygax, and Jeff Leeson were all equally responsible for those tweets. Anyone could be honest. But they aren't. The behavior continues. They are all culpable. So, Mike jumps in. Hi, I'd like to add. It's true, it's true, nuTSR official never said, however, I wrote the press releases with Justin's approval that way, because we'd hoped Jim Ward could salvage something from Giantlands, even with this whole mess. Stephen Deinhardt was in charge of the Giantlands account and wrote that tweet to Meg before I came on board. I never had access to that or any of Wonderfield's accounts. And this is corroborated by Luke Gygax on TikTok. I'm not going to share Luke's, but he corroborated that. My reply to the question why I stayed with not TSR so long. The simple answer is I did not know. I was working with him, them, Justin remotely, and he was very careful not to reveal to me his nature until January. Then I left. Now Rachel and I we covered narcissistic personalities on Gamers Health this weekend. By the way, the response to that episode,
Thank you so much.
it's been huge. Gamers Health.
I was just giggling at one of the
Cop,
comments on the
uh,
Facebook, and I'm like, oh my god. Um, but yeah, so like we were talking about the
the,
narcissism
the
and
signs and how to
yeah, and
deal.
what Michael describes here really relates so much uh, to a narcissistic personality. Someone with this disorder, can be a very charismatic person and draw people in because who doesn't want to be around somebody who is very confident in themselves and feels they're a leader? Um, these things attract people, and of course, as humans, we want to believe the best and
Right.
that we're
Who's the,
finding something that's uh, in sympathy or in alignment with what we're interested in. Things like gaming, things like certain philosophical approaches, Um, so yeah, like the person can be just really charming, really charismatic, and then it's also part of some of the maneuvers that happen to sort of like suck people in, and
well,
then
yeah.
they start to show their true colors and then use other types of um, intimidation to get compliance after the person starts to see, oh,
Exactly.
yeah,
And now here's something else that some people see it for what it is, and they go, "Oh shit, let me out." And that's the case of Michael. That's the case of Don Samora. Um, Other people see it and they refuse to believe it.
hmm
They see what would normally be seen as a deficit as a strength. Well, they're being aggressive to people, but those people are attacking anyway, so they're just fighting back. They make excuses because they don't want to admit to themselves that they could actually be following somebody who is such an potential abuser, and who's lying not just to the people around them, but often lying to themselves because they don't necessarily see the reality of the world around them like
Right.
others
You
do.
don't want to see that. And then also, there's other manipulations that someone with narcissistic personality will use. So, just things like gaslighting someone, undermining a person's view of a certain situation,
Right.
or guilting them about other situations in their life. Maybe the case is that Michael, the other person that you mentioned, I can't
Don?
remember. Yes, Michael, Don, these were stronger people. They weren't in such a one down position, and they were able to sort of pull themselves away to be able to really observe what is this and try to understand, and then extricate themselves from the situation. It might just be that people that are still in the situation,
Mm-hmm.
they're being gaslighted, they're being abused, you know.
Or they're being told, well, you're already in,
Mhm.
so
You're
whatever,
in too deep now.
yeah, whatever, you're in too deep,
Yeah.
you're into the end, and they believe it.
Yeah.
So going back to Michael, when I began working with nuTSR, not TSR, Lanasa, part of my initial questions of them were, who was in charge of the social media? They, Justin, Jeff, and Ernie assured me they were not, and in fact told me it was Stephen Deinhardt IV. I'm going to go back. That was true.
That was true.
That was true.
Okay.
And Stephen was the IT and PR manager that tweeted to Meg. We mentioned that. Now, the PR and IT was turned over to me initially, but then quickly reverted back to Justin making posts and me behind him with the fire extinguisher, because you got to correct the misdeeds. They were inflammatory and needed much correction, but he did not make any overtly prejudiced posts or comments that I was aware of while I was with them. I still don't know everything he posted. He was antagonistic with the community. Justin likes to scrap. Let's just put it that way. He likes social media scrap and fight because
Well, it
it's
also,
empowering.
yeah, and it also just underscores that you are the center of
Yes.
everything.
Yeah. Then he goes, edit. I believe Kim Winson on Twitter has records of the tweets from Stephen Deinhardt and the WFD account stating that Deinhardt claims ownership and responsibility for the TSR.games URLs accounts and tried to sell them on Twitter. Number two, I specifically asked Justin and Ernie if any of the allegations of bigotry, prejudice, and other heinous ideals were true, and I was assured they were not. I was assured that they were in fact inclusive and that anyone and everyone is welcome at their tables. In conversations with Justin, we did not discuss the issues after this initial assurance I received from Justin, Ernie, and Jeff. Justin also did not attempt to push the agenda he is now. Instead, he sold me on the idea that we would bring back TSR alumni, which proved to be another fabrication. When I was brought to Lake Geneva by Justin, there was no discussion about it. We only talked about business or gaming. No discussion about any personal topics were had. Ernie, Donna, and Jeff were wonderful and gracious hosts to me, and I had a fantastic time at VictoriaCon, meeting my car, and much more. There was nothing to indicate any problems, and all discussions were about business and gaming with them. Slowly, that changed after I came home. Justin's comments in person and posts became more and more erratic. That's interesting. I don't want to go into deeply on that right now, but there's a progression with
Right. I'm
this.
just curious, how did things progress,
Maybe
and
I
what were
might
the steps? And
I might have we might
that's
I might
interesting.
have to follow up with Michael on that one. He and I had many discussions and arguments regarding the things he was posting and their meeting until finally, in January, he made himself clear to me and I resigned. I'm going to throw something in here, folks. Michael and I first started communicating in November, and I will say the initial communication was awkward, but once we got past that initial uh, contact, I found that there was something and someone very likable on the other side of the screen when I was conversing with Michael, and I was surprised that he was associated with the TSR that I was seeing. Now that I've gotten to know Michael a little bit more, I understand that the person that I was seeing was the true Michael, and I'm very happy to know that. So, it is not in my nature to go in public and make statements, and you were the first to ask me with genuine sincerity. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity to make things quite clear, as Don already has in his video, which I will be responding to in kind. It is unpleasant to have to do things like this, but I look at this as a much needed opportunity to clear out bad apples, just like the reporting of Satine and Jameson's behavior, so we can rid our community of people that are causing harm. Thank you for asking. So, I mean, I thought that had to get brought to the attention. I thought that had to get some wings. The more we find out,
And the fact that Michael is so open,
he really is.
He just needed that invitation.
Yeah.
To
share.
Explain what really happened. And when someone asked in such a genuine way, instead of sort of like, an accusatory way, let's have a conversation. And he was able to meet that and be able to explain what his experience was.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, folks, this is the update for today. I know it's a 2-video day. Holy. I think this is a video without any cursing. Oh my God, what is YouTube going to do? Tomorrow's video likely will have cursing.
I don't know.
All right, maybe not. Maybe there'll be no cursing. Maybe I don't
think so.
All right, Rach says she doesn't think so.
Uh-uh.
All right, folks, listen, we're still in the midst of the world of the pandemic. What do you got to do? Use your common sense. Other than that, be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well, and there'll be a live stream Wednesday. I'll be up in the Poconos. I'm not sure who our special guest will be, but it's likely we'll have one. Or we'll just talk about bags of shit. I don't know. Oh, I cursed. But it's not a real curse word. It's one of those PG curse words. They don't count.
Oddly, when we weren't focused on it,
yeah,
we had none.
We had none. Don't get spoiled, folks. Don't get spoiled. All right. Much love. Catch you tomorrow.